Welcome to the ITSM Practice Podcast.
Welcome back to the ITSM Practice Podcast. This is Luigi Ferri, and with us today is David Barrow, a tough leader and published author who has played a key role in shaping service management strategies for top organizations such as the Bank of England and HSBC. In today's episode, Building Trust with Strategic Communication in IT Service Management, David will talk about the vital importance of communication in establishing and sustaining trust in IT services. Leveraging his vast experience, David will provide insights on how to implement successful communication strategies that synchronize IT services with business objectives. Let's explore the communication channels that foster trust and strategic alignment now.
My thanks to Luigi Ferri for inviting me to contribute to the ITSM Practice Podcast. Today, I would like to discuss the pivotal role of communication in service management. For me, it's a fundamental piece of our working world. Service management plays a pivotal role in communication, and we truly impact organizational success. Strong communication is of immense importance in enterprise service management. It has the power to drive us towards our goals and our value-focused outcomes by improving collaborative practices, promoting transparency, and building trusting relationships. Reflecting on my own career, I've seen the significant impact of effective communication, and I've also done it incorrectly, and I've seen the impact that has too. And I'd like to share some of my insights with you. Now, I'm not perfect. I don't suppose any of us are. And in the earlier stages of my career, I often focused more on governance than I did on collaborative communication. It was a great failing of mine, and if I'm honest, I continue to see others working in this way in many of my engagements. Our ability to communicate using multiple methods is a key skill of a great service management professional. It benefits us in so many ways, and some principles of doing so are now key components of the various service management practices and methodologies. Let's say we're running a digital technology service. In doing so, it's imperative to develop a series of communication plans for that service. We need to form a strong communication plan that is key to holistic working. And to do this, you work with your customers, your colleagues and your partners to identify all key stakeholder groups involved in delivering this service or a portfolio of services. By understanding this, you can build a more holistic view of these services and define in practice how you will communicate with these stakeholder groups of customers, colleagues and vendors from the outset. Employing such an approach avoids issues during your service lifecycle and allows you, through communication, to take regular temperature checks, ensuring that all parties remain on the same page of what value means to them. A comprehensive communication plan should detail all of the channels that you're using and the frequency of your communication. It should take into account the right communication for the right audience. For example, consider the process used to report an incident with a digital services. Processes and policy documents are absolute necessities to operate and support the service. But they should also be a living document that is reviewed with stakeholders and amended over time. And often you can simplify this activity by turning these seemingly complex process documents into an infographic or a picture that enables a speedier review for all parties and allows you to communicate more clearly to those who are only interested in their part of the interaction. Now, communication takes investment, but it's well worth it. Good and well-considered communication can influence the attitudes of your customers, your teams and your partners. It can bring people together and ensure a smooth, more holistic way of working across departments and ecosystems. And it can also simplify your language. You should work with your stakeholders to ensure that they understand the language you are using, removing jargon and terminology wherever you can. Good service management relies on coordinating activities, working as one, and strong communication is paramount to that success. And to do so, you must work collaboratively. Now, collaborative working is easier said than done, especially in today's world of tight deadlines and urgent situations where digital and information technology services fail. It's in these moments that the calm head of the service management professional is invaluable. Outside of these events, teams and individuals tend to work in a fairly siloed manner. We've seen those recent remote working arrangements that have been prompted by the pandemic. And in some way, they've increased these silos as more people work away from the office. But on the plus side, the pandemic has also prompted teams to move towards more transparent ways of working. So wherever you can, you should utilize those effective collaboration and communication tools wherever possible. Don't just rely on email or meetings. Now, being a good communicator goes deeper than those service level interactions. It breaks down boundaries, it builds relationships, and it instills trust. And this trust is vitally important when something breaks at 3 a.m. or on a public holiday, and you need to mobilize a team to restore that service. At these times, those customers, colleagues, stakeholders must know they can rely on your service management communication and trust you to understand their key outcomes and communicate those when restoring the service. And this transparency is key to delivering enterprise-wide service management. While marketing or sales teams may promote the business and people and culture teams engage new employees or retain existing one, service management professionals also have a role to play. Every point of communication with a customer, a potential customer, a client, or a stakeholder should work to instill trust in the message, and trust comes from providing that message in those ways that they need to read or view it. Now, communication is a two-way and a continual process. In another episode, I'll talk about allo, listening, asking, observing, and empathizing. And it goes such a long way in building trust with your stakeholders. It's a real key element of our jobs, as is acting upon feedback and taking sustainable steps to progress iteratively, to paraphrase one of the guiding principles. Giant leaps are not always necessary. Making improvements and taking the time to onboard feedback can really help your progress. And it also makes you more agile. It allows you to make changes and adapt whilst always validating your direction. So when designing or reviewing your operational digital services, encourage periodic opportunities for feedback from all your stakeholders, but especially your customers and your consumers. Meet with your relevant parties before making any changes based on this feedback, and keep communication with your teams transparent to obtain buy-in. And I'm sure you've heard it said before, always measure and report upon your successes and the hurdles you'll face, because not communicating these can quickly destroy trust. So I hope at this point you'll have seen how service management professionals are pivotal in ensuring all communications are handled appropriately within our services. However, let's not stop there. Service management can positively impact whole enterprises. And it's from here that we will discuss in another episode how building communities that are focused on value can really enable this opportunity. Thank you for listening.